Good morning, YouTubers and friends. How are all of you doing? I know it's been a while since I made a video. I was kind of on a roll and I was making videos like almost daily just to talk about various things. I just wanted to give a very simple update that this channel is not just always talking about scams and stuff or any other things, but we'll probably be covering many other different subjects as well. And I just want it to be more varied, and just more like a sharing of opinions. And if you have any thoughts and opinions, do fire away and share them. And if you have any interesting subjects that you want me to look into, it doesn't have to be Singapore related, doesn't have to be related to scams, it can be related to anything. Just fire away and ask. So today is the 7th of May 2026. It's 7:58 a.m. in the morning. So actually, I'm recovering from tonsillitis because I've got really bad tonsillitis, like bacterial tonsillitis. So I'm actually on my third day of recovery, but my tonsils are still kind of like swollen and pain, but I'm on antibiotics at the moment. Yeah, so anyways, today I just wanted to share with you guys a true account of a family member who actually were the same family member undergoing the stress of the scam. And I think this subject would be relevant to those of you who are living in Asia, specifically maybe if you're living in Singapore, Malaysia, and your elderly parents are well versed in Mandarin. When I say well versed, they speak Mandarin, they can read Mandarin, and they watch Mandarin videos and all this. So in one of the observations that I've actually been, the last 1 year to 6 months or 2 years, I've noticed that a lot of Chinese elderlies, okay, specifically Chinese elderlies in Singapore, tend to be on their phones a lot. All right. Now, is this a majority of them? Well, not really, but the number seems to be going up, and a large number of these Chinese elderlies are actually, watching all these Chinese shows and dramas. And these shows and dramas, the one thing that I find that's not very very. I know it's just a TV show. I know it's a drama. People want entertainment, but it creates this sense of annoyance. When I say annoyance, is that these China dramas, they're always looking for some kind of situation. People, the characters in the drama, always create this situation. Like this person is having this affair, this person is having that relationship, and it's so weird that I find it maybe because my characteristics is I embrace being in the silence. I embrace having less drama and all these things. But it seems that all these senior citizens, the Chinese senior citizens and the elderly, just love to watch these China dramas, which I find that they're just detrimental. Now, I know it's a very strong word, and those of you who love Chinese dramas, you like Korean dramas, you say, yeah, but it's entertaining. Well, I don't think you and I, on a daily basis, we go around starting fires unnecessarily, and then we complain about, oh, we're having all these things. Well, yeah, we don't go around starting fires. We don't go around starting dramas and nonsense and give ourselves more stress. Life in itself is already stressful enough in Singapore. All right. Now, read between the lines, obviously. So how does this drama thing relate to scams? Now, it is my strong belief and theory that when someone keeps watching all these dramas and you're at that age where maybe life seems a bit quiet, where the children have moved out the nest, okay, for you elderly who are watching this, if you're insulted, I'm sorry, I cannot help you with that. But if you're willing to listen, my policy is always, you can take it and go, or you can just leave it as it is. But the key part of it is that I noticed that these dramas do hammer away at the wall, and they start hammering at the chinks, and look at your vulnerabilities of the of the elderlies. It's true, because if you keep watching these shows enough, subliminal messaging, they start getting to your head. You start thinking, oh, because life is supposed to be like this. And when you get old, which all of us will, we all get vulnerable at some point, physically, mentally. All of it comes as a package. You go to the hospital just for shits and giggles. You go to the hospital, look at the wheelchair, you might want to take the wheelchair, or the A-frame walker. I'm coming to you soon. I mean, so guys, listen, all right? If your elderly Chinese parents are watching these shows, limit them, okay? I know it's not going to be easy to tell someone. It's like telling an addict to wane off the drug, Don't watch it. They need that stimulus, all right? Do I have one? Well, I play my games a lot, but when I get tired, I just go to sleep. Or when I want a break, I just go on a break, and when I want to do something else, I do something else. I'm not always stuck on it. Is it entertaining for me in my gaming? Yes, it does. It keeps my senses very sharp because I'm always looking, I'm always moving, and my eyes are always darting around. I think gaming actually helps with your, I'm not talking about gaming addiction, I'm saying about gaming as in like first-person shooter or driving games that help you respond and everything like that. So yeah, it's amazing what those games can do. But back to China dramas, I find that these shows are just, number one, loud, noisy, absolutely obnoxious, and the characters inside just start drama, unnecessary drama, and they complain unnecessarily all over the place. Right now, the other scary part about all these things is that most of these dramas, Chinese dramas, are coming out of China. All right, so PRC is what we would in Singapore. The term PRC is People's Republic of China. All these PRC dramas, they just there to whack at the elderly's vulnerabilities. How life is. When they're feeling lonely, they watch these shows. They feel like, oh, they're part of something, or maybe their friends are watching it. They need to be part of something. It's kind of like watching Game of Thrones or something, and everybody's watching it. You got to do it too. Jump on the hype wagon, isn't it? Jump on hype wagon, HYPE, as I would call it. But I don't like hype wagons. I find that they're just overrated. Any kind of hype wagon is overrated because it's just a temporary high, and it goes, stagnant, and it goes boop, sinks right down. Now let's move on to the next phase of what I was talking about. The scary part about all these scam things, right? Now, why is it relevant to PRC China? Okay, now China also has one of the largest areas of scams. Now, in the recent times, probably the last 2 years, 3 years, if any of you have time, Google Singapore scam numbers, and then you click the news. You'll realize that Singapore has the largest number of scam victims possibly in Southeast Asia. And the weirdest thing, is that the scam victims, aside from elderly, are those people who are highly, highly educated. Okay, it is interesting because we always assume that people who are not educated, or are probably more vulnerable. But apparently it's the other way around. It would seem that the more educated an individual is, they probably got overconfident, cocky, and think that, oh, I'm not going to be scammed because I know everything. Oh, I'm intelligent. I know how to identify a scam. The problem is that the scammers, right, are getting to be very good human psychologists, right? They prey on your vulnerabilities, and they absolutely, they've done the analysis of the personality they're trying to scam, right? They've done the background checks, they thought about it, and they have a game plan. Whether you're selling something and then you realize the scammer is asking specific questions, and they start toying away, they manipulate, and they start to try and galvanize some form of an attack strategy, which will trigger the right responses from you. So that's the key part about a scam, all right? Is that most scammers these days, it's not those dumb people who just ask you for, give me this X amount of money now. It's not, that's like a bank robber. But the scammers are very smart. They tinker on your human psyche. They prey on your vulnerabilities, and then they prey on your prejudices. They try to warm up to you, make friends of you. They think they know you, and they try and make it sound like, oh, I sympathize with your struggle, and they empathize. Let me be clear, all right, friends. Scammers don't have a morality, all right. Now, if any of you are listening, they're human beings. Well, you and I, all right, if we are so-called honorable, just, we have people who are very principled, we're honorable. We don't go around cheating people and having a nice, delicious wonton, or what they like to eat in China now is all that mala nonsense, which is just chili and fire. Okay, and then go to bed thinking that we have done something good. But the scary part of the scammers is that they can go to bed at night knowing, oh, you know what, I've scammed, and they can sleep peacefully and soundly, right? So these people don't deserve an ounce of leniency. They don't. They have no moralities, no conscience, and absolutely they don't sympathize with you. They don't empathize with you. Now, I know I'm sounding very preachy at this point, but I need to drive this, this emphasis, the severity and seriousness of the situation. All right, that they don't care about you. What, you think they say they buy some flowers for you and they buy some hand creams for you? You think they love you? That's rubbish. All right. If you think that these people that you've never met don't know you for what, since secondary school and all these things, and truth be told, I even got scammed by someone who was, in my life. I had a friend, not a friend actually, she's not a friend anymore. She was a senior in school, and she could cheat myself and another friend of mine from the same level in secondary school. She was a senior because she generally had children, but she actually borrowed money and she didn't pay back. And so we all, me and that guy, we used to call, some kind of senior she is, But anyways, the scary part about the other part of the scammers is that these China scammers, in every part of the world, right, they definitely have localized assets. Now, when I say localized assets, what are they? Human thinking assets. Okay, these are basically people. Okay, people that are operating in the guise of doing, some honest work, like maybe working in a laundry shop, selling beer at night in Singapore or something, and they take these side hustles from the scammers who pay them some monies to go to these elderly's house. Now, this is a first account, all right? Now, I had to deal with a situation where a random person that kept coming to the family member's house, and they were informing me that this person came, and they never met this person before. They never spoken to this person before, and yet this person knew so much about them. So how did the information leak out? Well, the elderly gave the information to the scammer. So the scammer told the localized asset, what to ask, the right questions to ask. Okay, and it's very brazen, and these scammers do this at elderly, And of course, you and me who are principled, we're honorable people. You know what? Of course, we seek vindication, or vengeance, if some of you want to call it. But you know what? As it is, if God wills it, they will get their karma and what is coming to them. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, listen. Be very mindful of the stuff that you're watching on YouTube, Netflix, or Chinaflix, or whatever. Okay. The messages that are inside these films, okay, and all this, they've been pre-programmed. They've been pre-programmed to claw away, to gnaw away, and weaken your resolve, And obviously, watch your parents, okay? If you notice your friends who are elderlies, if you notice them becoming more recluse, or they're very pre-guarded about the stuff they're talking about, or they're doing something on their phone and they're very secretive, or they're very sneaky, you might want to be very careful and talk to them, okay? It's all about trying to get it out in the open. Where, this statement I would say, Only the dark creatures, the dark DARK creatures, fear the light. Where there is light, there is no dark creatures. But you know what? It doesn't. Even if there is light, it doesn't stop the evil from coming in. That's the scary part too. And these scammers from China, all right, these PRC scammers are getting very, very good at it, and they're really, chinking away, gnawing away at the defenses of elderlies, in Southeast Asian countries. So if your parents are watching China shows and all this, I'm not trying to say that all China shows are linked to scammers, but it can affect their well-being. Now, if you're living in Singapore, you're taking the subways, you're walking the food courts, hawker centers, or supermarkets, and you see elderly on their phones for a long time, they're probably watching some loud, noisy China drama, okay, which you can probably see. And it's quite prevalent. You walk around, you can come in and tell me what you see. Tell me, look at the characteristics of how these elderlies are watching it. They're so engrossed in it that some of them even buy the storyline of these dramas into reality. So watch your parents, watch your elderlies, watch your friends. When I say watch, take care of them, especially when they're old. Because these scammers are not just, we used to talk about scammers before I finish off. You talk about Nigerian scammers. Now you got scammers from India or like some deep area of some Southeast Asian country. Even there's a news, right? Recently there was a Cambodian scam. There's a big Cambodia scam as well. You can Google it, guys. Type in Cambodia scam, and all these things. There's so many of them now. And the worst part is whenever there's a lot of them going on, it grows in that country. And the thing about China now, right, is that the Chinese scammers are getting very good at it. They study the vulnerabilities, the weaknesses, all of it, about the elderlies before they strike. And just know that they will always feel that there's something to give you. They have something good to give you. They can justify you spending that money. And that is where, if you're an elderly watching this video, you think that I'm preachy, you think that I'm just telling you because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, that's fine. But I'm telling you what I see firsthand, And so obviously, I would tell you, friends, watch your loved ones, be very mindful about the people they meet online and all these things. The last thing you want to do is to get yourself into a quagmire with a scammer. But this is Y2K here. I'm signing off. I hope to see you all again. Hope to get better from this nonsense tonsillitis. Probably the scammers wishing that I don't get to speak. But as long as I'm alive, I'm breathing, and I'm not demented, I will always have something, and I will always fight for you, friends out there who are family members, loved ones who are going through scams. Write in the comments below, talk to me about it, ask questions, anything. Let's bring more light into this whole subject, all right? Take care, all of you. I hope to see all of you soon, all right? Thanks for your prayers for those, for the situation. And some of you know about the family member that I'm helping out, all my tonsils and my health. Thank you, guys. See you all soon.